For generations, the formula for a successful Indian middle-class family was very simple. You work incredibly hard, you get good grades, you take the GRE or the GMAT, you apply to a university in the United States, you get your F1 student visa, and you board a flight to America. Once you get there, you study for 2 years, you get a high-paying job in tech or finance, and your life is set. It was the ultimate golden ticket. But right now in 2026, that entire formula is broken. The golden ticket has turned into an expensive trap. The latest data coming out of the United States is absolutely shocking. American universities are seeing a massive drop in international student enrollment. For the spring 2026 semester, new foreign student enrollment plummeted by 20% compared to last year. Graduate programs are getting hit even harder, dropping by an average of 24%. And who is leading this exit? No prizes for guessing, Indian students. Today, more than half of all US colleges and universities are reporting a sharp decline in international applications for the 2026 academic year. In fact, over 60% of surveyed American institutions reported a specific drop in applications coming from India. This is a big deal. During the 2024 to 2025 academic year, there were over 360,000 Indian students in the US. They made up nearly a third of all international students in the country. So why the sudden change? Why are Indian students suddenly turning their backs on the American education system? To understand why students are walking away, we have to start at the US Embassy. Getting admission into a good American university used to be the hardest part of the journey. Once you got the acceptance letter, getting the actual student visa was usually just a formality. You show up, answer a few questions, and pack your bags. But not anymore. Right now, the US F1 visa denial rate for Indian students has hit a staggering 61%. I want you to really think about that number. 6 out of every 10 Indian students who apply for a US student visa in 2025 and 2026 are being turned away. Just 2 years ago, that denial rate was 53%, and now it's collapsed to 62%. This means that the US is currently one of the absolute hardest countries for an Indian student to enter. Imagine being a 22-year-old student. You spent a year preparing for your exams, you wrote endless essays, you paid thousands of rupees just in application fees, you finally get accepted into a great program, you go to the US consulate for your visa interview. The officer looks at you for maybe 90 seconds, hands you a piece of paper and says, sorry, your visa is denied. Often, students are given a rejection code called 214B. This basically means the US government thinks you're secretly planning to move to America forever rather than just going there to study and come back. In a recent survey of US institutions expecting lower enrollments, a staggering 92% of them pointed directly to visa denials and processing delays as the absolute biggest barrier. Students are looking at this reality and making a very logical choice. Why go through all that stress and heartbreak for a system that clearly doesn't want you there? The visa rejection is only half the story. The real issue is the money. Studying in the US has always been expensive, but today, the economics of an American degree have completely lost touch with reality. For a middle-class Indian family, sending a child to the US for a 2-year master's program is a significant financial burden. We are talking about families committing anywhere from 50 to 60 lakh rupees. Very few people have that kind of cash sitting in a bank account. This money is almost always loan financed. Parents are putting their life savings on the line. They're putting their retirement funds on hold. In many cases, they are literally pledging their family home as collateral to a bank to get this loan approved. Now combine that massive financial risk with the new 61% visa denial rate. As Sanjay Lal, the founder of the international recruitment platform MSM Unify, pointed out recently, families simply cannot rationalize a coin flip visa outcome when there is 60 lakh rupees on the line. If the visa gets rejected, you just wasted months of your life and thousands of rupees in non-refundable fees. But let's say you win the coin flip. Let's say you get the visa and you go to America. You take on that mountain of debt. Is the degree still worth it? 10 years ago, the answer was yes. You would graduate, get a tech job paying $100,000 a year, and comfortably pay off your loan in a few years. But in 2026, the global job market is vastly different. The US tech sector has seen a high number of layoffs. Finding an entry-level corporate job in America right now is incredibly difficult. Indian students are realizing that taking on 60 lakh rupees in debt to enter a terrible job market is financial suicide. Students are not necessarily rejecting the US, they're simply pricing in its extreme volatility. Let's look at the third reason Indian students are backing away. It's what happens after you graduate. The only reason an international student pays premium American tuition is for the right to work in America afterward. This is usually done through a program called OPT, or Optional Practical Training, which allows graduates to work in the US for 1 to 3 years. After that, the goal is to get sponsored for an H-1B work visa. But right now, both of those pathways are under serious threat. Over the past few years, there has been a lot of policy uncertainty in the US. Under President Donald Trump's second term, there is a very aggressive anti-immigration agenda pushing forward. We are seeing serious concerns over the future of both the OPT scheme and the H-1B visa program. Furthermore, 84% of US schools surveyed admitted that restrictive government policies are the main reason international students are declining. Put yourself in the shoes of an Indian student. You finally graduate. You have millions of rupees in debt. But instead of focusing on finding a great job, you have to constantly check the news to see if the government is going to cancel your work permit. The US Embassy in India recently recently issued strict warnings to Indian student visa holders. They made it very clear that any violation of the rules, like working without authorization or failing to report a job on OPT within 90 days, can lead to immediate loss of legal status, visa cancellation, or even deportation. They're even heavily scrutinizing students' social media profiles for the last 5 years. The entire environment has become incredibly hostile. It is a high-stress, low-security situation. If you lose your job or your visa status gets questioned, you might have to pack your bags and return to India immediately. And if you return to India with a 60 lakh rupee loan, but you're only earning an Indian salary, you will be trapped in debt for the rest of your life. So if the US is no longer the promised land, what are Indian students doing? Are they just giving up on studying abroad entirely? Absolutely not. The math of studying abroad has shifted, and Indian students are simply taking their money and their talents somewhere else. The biggest winner in all of this? Europe and Asia. Germany has emerged as one of the most biggest beneficiaries of this shift. Why? Because the math makes sense. Germany offers incredibly high visa approval rates and much faster processing timelines compared to the US. Plus, the education in Germany is heavily subsidized. The application fees are low, and the overall cost of living and studying is a fraction of what you would pay in America. Then you have Ireland. Ireland is actively pulling in Indian students because it offers a native English-speaking language education system and direct access to European technology employers. You don't have to learn a new language, and you still get to work in a booming tech hub. We're also seeing a huge boom closer to home. The UAE continues to gain popularity because it is geographically close to India and has a rapidly expanding network of international branch campuses. Across the broader Asia-Pacific region, surveyed institutions saw a massive 82% growth in their undergraduate international student enrollment. These countries are viewed as friendlier, cheaper, and far less volatile alternatives to the United States. They are welcoming Indian students with open arms, clear visa policies, and realistic paths to employment. The choices Indian students are making right now are sending a financial shockwave through the American economy. When international students stop coming, the US loses big. The drop in new enrollments for the fall of 2025 alone translated to over $1 billion in lost revenue for the US. States like California and New York are taking a painful financial hit. But for you, the viewer, the takeaway is much more personal. The era of blindly applying to the United States just because it is the United States is officially over. If you are planning your career right now, you have to treat your education like a strict financial investment. Do not take on a 60 lakh loan for a country that rejects 60% of its applicants. Look at the data. Look at the visa rules. Look at countries that actually want your skills and offer a stable, affordable path to a global career. The world is much bigger than Silicon Valley. And right now, the smartest Indian minds are realizing that their future might not be in America. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Has the current visa situation made you change your study abroad plans? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to this channel if you found this video engaging, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.